the barn is, we call it the comfort barn. It's here for the comfort of the cows. We're currently not feeding in it, and it's probably not in our short-term plans to either. We're still predominantly trying to be out in paddocks when we can be. It's just for those periods of stress. When it's too wet to be grazing or too hot to be having cows outside, that's what we're trying to take away, those stressful moments. And it's for the cows and for me as a manager to be able to say, well, yeah, these are the tools that I can do. So at the moment it's hot weather, obviously, that's the driver, and as soon as we see cows bunching up, that's our signal that they're not coping with the heat. They'll come in here and it's just great to see cows sitting down in the heat, but they're sitting down and chewing cud. You can just see that they're not having that heat load on them. But yeah, you can have them under trees out in paddocks, but they're still milling around trying to get to the middle, and there's still that stress response, and they're not the energy that they're expending trying to keep cool, that level of stress just isn't on them when they're here in the barn. Vice versa in the winter, it can be stressful as a manager trying to work out where you're going to put a herd of 900 cows after you've had a significant rain event. And that pressure is attainable. I can feed the cows well, and now I know that I can house them well as well. And it just makes the system easier to run. My brother and I took over the business from Mum and Dad in 2015. We've slowly grown the business to where we are today. All told, there's 2,000 cows across 3 dairies. This particular site, we're milking about 900 cows. The grazing platform here is about 170 odd hectares. We've got our country to support that as well. So we have got a relatively high stocking rate. We're on perennial pastures, graze cows year round. We've also got a feed pad that we feed cows on when we're needing to do that, and just with the way the weather is, hot weather and rain events, running larger herds, we just needed a space to be able to manage those events, and that's where the barns come into play. I think it's another tool that we've got at our disposal. I think our industry's changed. Cows are producing more, therefore there's more pressure on cows to perform. In years gone by, hot weather was just something you dealt with, and cows just don't milk that well. I think now we can see that we can do something about it, and it does make sense to do things about it. So it's hard to imagine farming without the shed, even though we've only had it for such a short while. I certainly wouldn't ask for a refund for the problems that I had before. It wouldn't even cross my mind. So it's with time, that's people have got to go on their own development journey. But for us, it's been a really positive thing. With the roof pitch, you instantly feel cooler being in the shed. You do feel airflow the minute you walk into the shed. So, the design features with the open ridge in the centre and the roof pitch, it is pulling air through, and that does help pull cows. It is noticeable coming in from a shady tree area. Coming into here, it is definitely cooler in the shed. In terms of benefits, so far we have seen slight production increases. It's just the main thing for us is that the cows are happier and so are we. It just is an easier system to run. Means we can keep doing what we do well, which is grazing grass. We know we're not going to trash paddocks in wet weather, and we also know we're not going to trash paddocks if cows are milling around in hot weather. So it's all a good thing. Yeah, I guess we'd always seen action through the advertising material and at field days and that sort of thing. We'd dealt with action a few times before with some machinery sheds and hay sheds, and just the whole experience was a really good one. The team was a team, and they were good to deal with. And in comparison to some other sheds that we've built with other teams, the experience of action has only been positive. With action, there was it was a collaboration. It wasn't just this is what we can deliver and this is what you'll have. There was no dumb questions. It was, what does it look like if I do this? I put gable end on one end and I've left the ridge open for more airflow, and that was let's see what we can do. It wasn't it's going to cost too much or it's going to be too hard. It was from that point of view, they were there to facilitate what we want at the end of, and they had advice too on what works and what doesn't work. But they've got the years of experience behind them as well. So from that point of view, it was we came up with the ideas and they helped us refine them, and then but just through delivery and construction, they were always there when we needed, and any problems we had, we came to sensible conclusions. So it was, all in all, for a pretty major project, it was fairly straightforward. So if anyone's in the market for a new shed, I'd definitely recommend Action. Just they are well-built sheds. They're good value, and the people are good value too. They listened to what we wanted and delivered. So we definitely recommend Action sheds to anyone who's in the market. People ask me, who would you build with? It's Action every time.